who is connected visually. I'm not so sure noma sefikile umthetho. Bekunanoma umthetho. Okay, also kwi-media platform or kwi-visual platform Honorable Madlopha Mthetho. They are both connected. They are also members of this portfolio committee. Ngingabeka kanjalo, then emnyangweni samsana ke no coordinator wethu usisi Thabi, coordinator wekomiti lethu. Ngiyambona uBut Cedric Manqele Nangya. I'm also told we had Udlamini Wandile. Where is Wandile? Oh, we also had Wandile. Wandila is our researcher. Ngokwe caucus economic has just joined us. We welcome you. Usibongile Sibisi also online is our researcher of the portfolio, because Udlamini is a researcher we caucus yethu. But Lindo, Dr. Mlaba is our researcher ngokwe portfolios connected visually. Sinomnyango. Ngicabanga ukuthi ke khona kungenzeka abangazi ukuthi umnyangweni khona bani, but I'll allow HOD uMajola to introduce the members anazo phakathi kwethu.
Siyabingelela sihlalo hloniphekileyo namalungu asishamthetho ahloniphekileyo. Cha sihlalo la ngihamba no DDG waka corporate services ubaba uMthombeni uDuma, bese ngiba no district manager wakhona la eHerigwala ubaba uThokozana uNkomo, ngibe no Mr Shabangu umphathi wami nami executive director of Sinla HOD, ngibe no Miss Dube director we region ephethe omasipala abakhulu abathathu okuHugu neHerigwala noMgungundlovu, bese ngiba no Mr Chakan who's the deputy director program management odila nge-infrastructure. Bekhona ukwaza chief construction project manager, kube khona ubaba uDube project manager. Ngicabanga ukuthi ngokohlola ka-public works ilabo nje abakhona. Ngakubalula nje ukuthi bakhona nabanye othisha ngaphandle kwathisha omkhulu, kanjalo ne-SGB ekhona la emhlanganweni. Siyabonga.
Siyabonga, also acknowledge uMbongeni Ntuli waka IT no Ismail Mohammed waka communication were also with us. Siyabonga ukwamukela. Do we have any apologies? If there are any apology?
Ngiyabingelela sihlalo nekomiti lonke. Sinama apology ama-members awu-3 angekho abroad. Honorable Mavimbela, Honorable SE Mangaile, no Honorable JS Mthetho. Then bese kuba i-apology kaWanda, our communications minute officer or personnel. Honorable Dube ujoyine online. Honorable Mshengu akekho ne-commitment. Honorable Tiphi Mthethwa ujoyine online naye. Angazi noma khona ngimshiyayo isihlalo. Mekhona uzongibonela, ngiyabonga.
Thank you. Those are the apologies. Can we note those apologies? Honorable Bamkash, SN Mando Nonkosi. Or in terms of the apologies, nakabhaleke kahle akabalwa ngo SN Ngumalo no Mr S Nkosi. no Mr. Esinsele, is a legal. Honorable Prakash. Or you're noting. Can you get a seconder?
Yeah, we second, Chair. We second.
Thank you. We are bamba kahle lapho sis. Then next on the item, in terms of the constitution of meeting,
Yeah, constitute as clan 6+1, 5+1. Thanks.
thank you. It's well constituted. We are 7 plus the members that are joined virtually. The quorum should have been 6. So well constituted. We move to item, which is the adoption of the agenda. Can we adopt the agenda? Agenda A2 is more of the update on Xolo Senior Primary and now we are told the minutes of the previous meeting. How are we going to do with that? Must we do it? Okay. Kunama minutes of the previous. We also, why didn't we say that there was an apology from the MEC? Oh, an apology. The MEC, no, it's fine. We got. Then we're going to do the adoption of the minutes. Those are the minutes of the 31st of May. The one where we went to Newcastle. Sizasihambelana panorama sina primary. Members, minutes that were beamed. Can I take hands? I'm seeing Umpai Peli and Honorable Dombela.
Thank you, Chairperson. Siyawavuma ama-minutes.
Seconded, Chair. Confirming of the minutes.
Thank you. Our minutes have been moved and supported. It's an activity that happened in another district, but the members are quite aware of. And having seen them being lighted, they could see that it's a true reflection of what happened. Then we move. We are not going to have the matters arising because we don't have Ubabong Ngumalo. We are going to just get an update on Polo Senior Primary. It's a briefing. HOD, I'm told you are the one. Maybe let me further clarify the reason why we are here. Others will say, especially the leadership of Umkhandl, maybe you're asking yourself because the visit was done by the former chair, Honorable, now MEC Fraser, in relation to the school. But it's a compliance issue that has been raised by the AG to say for whatever project that have taken place, a committee also need to have a closeout report pertaining it. That means the commitment that were made by either the service provider or by whoever who happened to be part of the project, we need to make a follow-up and be assured that those commitments were done, and also to us to get a confirmation to say indeed the project has been completed, and also get a feeling yokuthi nizizwa kanjani nina ngayo i-project. That's why we are here. In fact, it's a new thing. It's not something that was there before, but we don't want to do that which we used to do, knowing very well that also compromises us. Maybe to even share, because in the last financial year, we had the portfolio committees. It was education and health that were audited. But this time around, we are part of the portfolio committee that are audited. It's education and health plus public works, no human settlements, I think no transport. But there are about 7 committees that are now being reviewed by the AG. So we did not fail them, because it's not a matter of us being true to what we do, but also ensuring that whatever that we do matches that's what we said in the public out there. It's all about that. As the oversight will remain true to the tasks that we were given by the communities, by umphakathi wonke, nabantu bonke bakwaZulu-Natal abazivotela, nanokwenhlangano-ke eyasithuma ngokwahlukana. Mangabe usubekwe lapho kuthiwa khona dlala oversight, you should be doing that which you are assigned to do. Over to you, HOD, so that usinike nje sivale kahle nathi bese sazi singaphinde sikhuluma ngaxoloxolo. Sesokhuluma ngamanye ama-project, but nawo sokwenza ngale ndlela esenze ngawo exoloxolo uma ngabe kuwukuthi ase-complete.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Greetings to yourself, members of the legislature, colleagues. October ubaba umeya nesigungu anaso emkhandlwini wase Greater Kokstad ozawethu abakhona la uthisha omkhulu ehamba ne-SGB nozawethu abanye abaqhamuka e-legislature. Siyabingelela kakhulu. Honorable Chair, I'm not going to be long, but I'll try just to summarize, to speak to the presentation. Safe to say that in terms of the location, the school is located at Ward 9 here in Greater Kokstad local municipality, which is within the Herigwara district municipality. The main goal of this project was to provide a new model school for learners living within the Greater Kokstad municipality. But we are of the view that maybe there are people outside of Kokstad, they would love to come and join the school, but that will also depend on the availability of space for learners within the Greater Kokstad. In terms of the project team, safe to say that we had our project manager who's here with us, Mr. Ndabezinhle Dube, who was leading the project. Safety officer, Pilisiwe Klaba, EPWP, Mr. Msomi, architect, Ikamva, architect, quantity surveyor, Siakula, quantity surveyors, civil engineers, Gavin R. Brown and Associate, structural engineer, it's Gavin Brown and Associate, electrical engineer, BFBA consultant. The contractor was Ramros Construction Company that was building the school. In terms of the stakeholders who were part and parcel of the project while we are still under construction, safe to say that Department of Public Works, Department of Education, Department of Labor, SGP, consultants, contract and subcontractors, local and district municipality, they were also involved. Local community, including the local skilled and unskilled laborers, they were part of the team. In terms of the data of the project itself, the construction amount was 65 million. The expenditure to date, it's 64 million, which in terms of the contract period, it was 37 months. Project commence date, it started on the 18th of June 2019. The original completion was supposed to be on the 18th of December 2021. Unfortunately, we did not achieve that target. The revised completion date, it was on the 1st of August 2022. The project is sitting at 100% in terms of completion. The project scope, I will just indicate that we constructed 25 new classrooms, 3 multipurpose classrooms, computer room, library, admin block, grade R block, combi court, waterborne ablution facility, associated site works. In terms of the benefit from the project, a total number of 188 EPWP work opportunities were created. All EPWP beneficiaries were recruited through OSS war room from the local municipality of Ward 19. Of Ward 9, the project employed a CLO, Ms. Tandazile Ukwana, who's a female youth from the same ward. There was a functional project steering committee for the project, which I'm not going to dwell on it because it's the same as I've also mentioned above in terms of the steering committee. In terms of the breakdown, in terms of the target, we've targeted 125 employment, but we've only achieved 138, which was more than our target. In terms of the women employment, we targeted 75. We did not achieve that. We set on 46, which represents 61%. Youth employment, we were targeting 69, but we've managed to overachieve the target by 99, which resulted 143%. Disabled target, there were 3, we've only achieved 2. In terms of percentage is 2%. In terms of the skill development, 1 quantity surveyor, provision of 12 months in service training was also part of the project. The civil engineer provision of 12 months in service training. The female youth was also benefited from the program. First 8, 2 workers, male and female, trained and issued with certificate of occupation health and safety. 1 female youth worker trained and issued with certificate. Bobcat operator training. 2 youth male workers trained and issued certificate. TLP, 1 male worker trained and issued certification. Business management, tertiary education, 1 female who's currently working as a community liaison office is attending at the Bria Technical School. Part-time of her studies have been sponsored by the contractor who's Ramros Construction. In terms of 4 male youths also trained on carpenter, 8 trained on painting, 1 female trained on bricklaying. Subcontracting opportunities, subcontracting target, it was 13 million, which is 30% of the contractor's award amount. Subcontracting achieved to date is 20 million, which is above the target of 30%. Women subcontractor, 2.8. Youth contractor, 5.5 million. Other groups, 12 million. In terms of the challenges, one of the challenge was the issue of the COVID-19, which delayed the project not to be completed on time. As you're all aware that COVID started as back as 2019, 2020, so we were affected severely by the COVID. The other one was the issue of supply of the material, which also had hampered a service delivery to be achieved on time. Lastly, the issue of the payment to the service provider, which was also a serious challenge on our side, mainly because departments were not paying us on time as public works, so that we'll be in a position to funding to pay the contractor. Chair, I think that's it. The other following are just pictures indicating how was the school before and how it is now. Thank you so much.
La ncane ihlombe amakhazi. Siyabonga. Siyabonga esikujabulelayo ukuthi we are talking about 100%. Ubukeka ke noma kube nezingqinamba kusala kodwa kuqediwe. It's just if usonkontileka project manager whoever can make addition makukhona okusalile noma covered. Thank you so much, Mr. the principal. Wonke umuntu ola fanele akhulume nje babe ngibalula ukuthi kufanele sithi masivala sivale ngemibono yethu sonke. Siyacela ukuzwa uvo lwakho ngoba ngokokwethu si-oversight ukwenza laba baka HOD ukuthi ba-account ngezinto abazenzayo. So-ke uma be-account asuke singabalandeli eduzane asihlale nawo. Sirelaya kakhulu ekuthenini sibe sizwe ukuthi iy'nhlakeni ey'suke zikhona ekuhlaleni lokhu abasuke bekusho kuyikhona yini. Uma ngabe kube nezinye izinto oy'bonayo nawe noma ungay'nqoma ukuthi lokhu akwenzekanga kahle mhlawumbe ukwenza kanje, you can also share that. But nanokusho nje ukuthi how do you feel about the project yonke, we'll appreciate uma ngabe singathola lokho. Emva Mrs. Lange, then we are going to have SGB nayo ibe nezwi. And after SGB sizobe sesithola-ke umphakathi, angithi khona nabo abamele umphakathi la sinomeya sinosomlomo sinamakhansela. Nabo bangasho nabo ukuthi babona kanjani. I think lokho kuyingxenye yezinto ey'fanele zibe part of a report yethu yokuthi ekuhlanganeni nani nazi izinto eniy'shilo. Uma ngabe-ke sigxeka suke sigxeka ngokwakhayo suke singagxekeli ukuthi siyabhidliza. Ngicabanga ukuthi lokho engafeel bad uma kukhona eningakuboni kahle. Nikhululeke nje ukukusho ngoba inhloso yokukusho is for us to note and correct. Ngoba umnyango kuyisibuko, nina niyisibuko somnyango. Inini nikwazi ukuwubona ukuthi wenza kanjani, okwazi ukuyibuka wona. So we really appreciate uma ngabe kwenzeka lokho ngenhloso yakhe. Mabisilangu.
Enkosi sihlalo. Ngicela mhlawumbe make ndimapha uzenzo. Ngicela ukubulisa honorable members from ngicela ukubulisa honorable members from the legislature, abaphathi bethu bakwamasipala Greater Kokstad ne district municipality Herigwala, SGB teachers nabaphathi bethu bakwa Department of Education and nabaphathi bethu bakwa Public Works. Thina sisisikolo they are banqale apha kule ndawo. We appreciate a lot the beautiful school that was built for us, for our community. Everybody thinks it's something like a university. It was supposed to be a university or at least a high school. So abantu ba very impressed. Nathi nje si appreciate kakhulu sisisikolo ne community yethu yase Kokstad. But then, however, we have some concerns about isikolo esisethu. Okokuqala nje, now that I've heard that it has been reported that 100% has been completed 100%. But then there are certain things like that we feel that they should have been included at our school. For example, the fencing. We have nice, strong fencing there. But we don't see spikes. There are these spikes that used to be on top of that type of fencing, and we can't help but compare ourselves to other schools that have the same type of fencing. We have had as a school to go and take from our meager budget and try and add razor wire on top of that fencing, especially on certain areas where it's open to the community. Luckily, our school has neighbors, has residences, houses of people as neighbors. So we had to target certain areas that are open to the road and to the public. Safaka razor wire ngemali esingenayo. Leyo nto sayikhalazela kakhulu. Siyacela ukuthi zifakwe izipikes kuleya fencing. Sihlala community ene crime, a lot of crime apha community, so we need leyo protection. Over and above that, maybe this is not really to your department as Public Works. We also need security guards. So we have to fend for ourselves as a school. And remember, we are categorized under Department of Education as Quintile 3, no fee school. So that is a poor school in a poor community. So we have now to go to the poor parents that we serve and ask for more funds, for more money for them to contribute to the school. And most of them are social grant recipients. So the situation is quite bad. We have to struggle. Other things are that the school is beautiful, but then the features there are expensive to maintain. Yes, the features are very expensive to maintain. We were like surprised to find izinto i-padlocks zakhona, they are said to have been imported, and when you want to replace it, to have spare keys, it's very difficult. It's very expensive as compared to the normal the normal padlocks. Okay, that helps with the security, but then what about where do we get the money to maintain? Other things are that the school is very big as compared to the old site that we used to have. So maintenance in general is a very difficult exercise for us. We have to struggle, really struggle. Nansi ke enye nazi ezinye izinto ke engicela sizinote apha. Ilena yokuthi when the contractor handed the school over to us on the 31st of August last year, they didn't advise us that the type of electricity system that is in that school is very different from from what we used to have. They only told us that okay, we will be billed by the municipality. It's not prepaid. Okay, we understood that, but then we learned about 2 months after we were in the school that the type of electricity is called MD. I learned about it at the municipality when they explained to us that we have an electricity system called MD that is designed for large machinery, like the construction machinery. So it has a flat rate of about 15,000 rand. Whether you use it or not, every month there will be this 15,000 rand, and then you'll have usage on top of that. We are a poor school, like I have mentioned. We can never afford something like that. Like, for example, in the school where we used to be, we used to spend something like around 4,000 rand for a few months. The 4,000 rand, 5,000 rand used to last us for a few months, but now every single month we have to cough out this money. So we were surprised, Mr. Mayor, that we started operating at that school on the 2nd of September, but then the September bill was around 87,000 rand. Then 87,000 rand, yes. That's the bill for one single month. And remember, then it was summer. We were not using some things like heaters. The only thing we used for electricity was our photocopying machines, the lights, and only things like that. So we realized that this bill is not ours. It's something that was left over by the contractor. And unfortunately, we were all alone when we were given the keys by the contractor on the 31st of August. So we couldn't double check with them that everything was settled. So we have communicated that with the contractor. We've communicated that with our superiors at the Department of Education. And then right now, that bill is sitting at around 130,000 rand. And there is no way the school can attempt to cover this bill. And over and above that, we won't do that at all because it's not our expense. We have maintained that with the contractor. Apparently, the contractor, I don't see them. They tried to they didn't want to accept that was their bill. So we need some intervention in this. We are right now trying to contact the municipality, going through the offices there to get help on this thing. The second one, another one is the water problem. There is a very beautiful water system there that is designed such that when the municipality water is closed at around 9 in the morning and it comes back at around 4. So that system must kick in automatically so that we are not never short of water in that school. But then on handing over on the 31st of August, the contractor noticed that there was a problem because there were certain taps and certain toilets that were not that didn't have water. So they noticed that and then they tried to fix it. But then after a few days, it started again. And then up to this moment, we don't have water at that school. We only have water when the municipality water is there and only in certain taps. And then after that, for most of the day, we don't have water. You can imagine, you will see the school, it's so beautiful. You will never imagine that we are using buckets. We have to use buckets to flush toilets. It's a very bad situation. It's disrupting our schooling, the periods, the running of the school, and also it's eating in our budget, a very small budget that we have. So this is the biggest problem we have in our school, the thing about water. Another thing, there is a list of snacks that are there that the contractor still needs to fix. We alerted them to these things at around when we got there. These are things like on the corridors, the dust is lifting off there. I don't know what happened with the concrete flooring that they did, but the traffic, the foot traffic of learners and teachers, we have this dust that is coming off the floors. We are very unhappy about it. We told the contractor about it. We never got that fixed. That was last November. Until this day, it's still the same. Another thing is the rails. There are certain rails that are breaking, and it's not. I think it's a workmanship problem. Another thing is there are the stairs, the staircase. There is a staircase that is breaking at the bottom where it meets with the rails. Then the contractor is aware, and then there is a down pipe that broke immediately when we got there. It broke, and then we told them about it as well. And then the stairs now, the stairs at the staircase, at the tips of the stairs, it is breaking. The tips of the stairs, they are breaking. That started last year. We alerted the contractor. So it's a list of things. The contractor had their team stay there at our school until December last year when we closed school, because they were looking after the grass, they were looking after the small tree plants. But then they never got to fix all these snacks that we told them about. So until today, it's still the same. So these are the things we are very unhappy about. Another thing, is the 1%. We heard that the contractor has to leave 1% of the total budget that they had for the construction as a plowback to the community or something like that. So when we tried to find out about that, we were told that that money will not be deposited into the school account, doesn't get deposited into the school account, but it goes to the Department of Education, and Department of Education will buy stuff for us as a school. So until today, we don't know what is happening with that, and we need some clarity on that. What else? Yes, the SGP and SMT, you will help me, please, with whatever I've forgotten here. Yes, and then the maintenance now in general now, the grass cutting, there's a lot of grass there that needs cutting, and yeah, we had to spend a lot of money this past summer doing that. Fortunately, we have people like CPW from GKM. We have correctional services who come and help us from time to time with these things. But then basically we need more funds, maybe from the Department of Education, I suppose, for the maintenance. That's all for now. I don't know if I'm leaving anything behind, Tim. The cleaners, yes, beautiful school. But now we had to hire cleaners. We don't hire cleaners as a school normally. We never had cleaners to clean the glass walls and the big windows that are there. The expensive what's this thing? The rug, the floor rug that is there. So we had to go and take from our small budget to try and get these things together. So for now, we have been helped by the Youth Employment Initiative by the department. So we have a few people helping out. I don't know what we will do after September when their contract expires. So we need some intervention in these things. Thanks a lot.
Department of Education, ukhona. Siyabonga ukuthi ukhona education is noting. Ngicela ukuthi uphawule education. Uzophawula baba. SGB ngibona ithulile. Akho umuntu ku-SGB. Ubamele kahle usho omkhulu. Department of Education. Siyabonga ukuthi ukhona. Shuthi nje ubuwanotha wonke ama-issues enu. La bebewasho ngoba maningi kakhulu uthisha omkhulu athinta u-education akhulume ngawo. Naku Mbobo.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, honorable members, officials. My name is Luleko Pogo. I work for Department of Education District Office as a Deputy Chief Education Specialist Infrastructure. One, top management of the district is not around, and yes, Honorable Zone. So it is not around, and as such, I was asked to be part of this meeting. Firstly, as a district and as a department, we are happy to have Public Works constructed the school, because the school came about because it was built sharing a site with another primary school. And then a typology of schools was this school was starting from grade 3 and upwards. So we decided we must separate them, and Ikokstead as an area is growing in terms of in numbers, and as a result, a need for a school was very important. And even after we have built it, we still have huge numbers at our schools around. We still need to build another school. That is why, as a department, we would love to express our gratefulness that this school was built, but also make an appeal to public works as a custodian of state assets and all that we still need more schools as Kokstead community. We have other IAs, but we believe in public works because public works is a custodian of our state assets. Let me come now to this project. So this project has made a great difference, as the principal has said. He has made a great difference, but the principal has highlighted a number of other issues that I want to speak to. For instance, the principal spoke about the issue of the fence. Our fence, a clear view fence, is the best of the best type of fence. But if there are issues like the spikes that is raising, we'll look into that. We'll look into that and raise it. But the department has spent millions in that project. So if there's anything, we keep upgrading our assets. It's not a once-off thing. It's a process to develop our schools. And we have so many backlogs and all that. So we are grateful as a department that we have such a school. We will look into this. He knows our office. He will send the list to us, and then we start looking into this. For instance, the issue of security. As a department, we are having constraints in terms of budget, and as such, we don't have security guards employed in all the schools. It's a problem across. But I agree because we've invested a lot, so it can't be left without being secured. So it is noted, and it's gonna be attended to. I'll take it up to senior management to say we've been reporting that schools do not have security, but in this one, can there be any special dispensation so that it can be looked into? Then he also mentions the padlocks, the what. What I know, maybe at times I'll be personal. What I know is that beauty pays. You can't be beautiful without paying. I understand the padlocks that were imported because were meant to make the school as beautiful as it is, but it needs to be maintained on the other side. So we budget, we give schools money for norms and standard. If it was my personal choice, I would say all schools must be no-fee schools. But because of the issues of money, so it's not possible, but we are trying. So the maintenance of schools is in threefold. One, we give the school norms and standard funds. In that, 12.5% must go straight to the maintenance of the premises of the school. But if the maintenance is bigger than what the school can afford, we've got it budgeted the district. We call it internal maintenance budget. So they will report as such, and then we'll look into it, scope it, and attend it in terms of that budget. If it goes beyond that, therefore, it means we have other projects that we send to your district office, Mr. Nkoma. We keep liaising to say, okay, please, let's put this in our plans for maintenance. So the principal shouldn't worry if there is no hope or there is no solution. This is a department, this is government, so there are measures to deal with that. But he must be seen to be doing something within the small budget that is given. And then if it goes beyond his capacity, I'll send the works inspectors to scope and price it, and then we see how we intervene. That's it. Then in terms of the defects that he's mentioning, we are aware like the issue of water, but it is getting attention. It is getting attention. So he is not alone in making these follow-ups. So we are not going to let Mr. Dube as a gentleman that we keep liaising with. We are, it's a work in progress. We are working on it. And as such, for now, we need to give the processes so that these are sorted. On the snagged list items and all that, well, I'll leave that to Mr. Dube, who is the project manager. I'm not going to respond to that. But in a nutshell, the issue of grass cutting, all the schools are budgeted for, are given the norms and standards. They must maintain the site. As I've said, anything that's beautiful is expensive because you need to keep it beautiful. When a light breaks off or fuses, he must replace it. He mustn't wait until it's so many because it will be impossible. So all schools are maintaining their sites. So that's unfortunately the reality. The cleaners, the security in all the schools, there is that outcry because of budget constraints. But the department is aware of the shortages of staff in these areas. We were happy with the current intervention, but it's gonna lapse the issue of cleaners that are aware for COVID and for but it is attended to. HR is aware. All the schools have reported they don't have cleaners, they don't have security. The issue of handymen, there's a program for handymen. Now they're more of temporal, but we are looking at a situation where we are able to employ them so that each school has a handyman. Anything that breaks, they fix it even before it escalates into being a huge problem. The downpipes, they will be sorted by project manager. So as a department, in a nutshell, we are happy with what we see there. We are asking for more. We understand it has to be budgeted for and all that. Our MEC is equal to that. With the budget that will be given, definitely we will be able. In my plans as a district infrastructure planner, for instance, honorable mayor and office and councillors, we are going to be building Timberlake Secondary School. It is on mobile this side. Soon we'll be handing it over. It's going to be built at that other side. Coxhead community, no. We're going to be building that school. Is a secondary school that arose out of overcrowding in the existing schools. So there is also a talk about another primary school over and above that one because of the numbers. Because of the numbers that are so high. So we are trying our best. Please, we are calling for support from the community and from whoever can play a role. So thank you so much without taking much time. Thank you, Chair. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just interested in one issue that was raised by the principal. I hope the department is better positioned to clarify, because we were asking ourselves whether is there such when it comes to corporate social responsibility. We are told that there is one person that is supposed to go to the school. We don't know, because I don't even see it in the education portfolio. I'm not well versed with their issues, and the allegation that was said was there that one person that has to go to the school, but the school never received it. Was told it's going straight to the Department of Education. My understanding of a corporate social responsibility is something different. So I thought maybe you are at liberty to share with us.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Ngicela uyidlulisela ku-HOD unayo answer to respond. Thank you. But as a department, social responsibility, it goes to the SGP as a custodian or as a constituted structure as school. Rights and requests from the contractor to say you were building and all that. What is it that you can do for us as a thank you, sort of, that you were given a business opportunity? And as a district and as a department, we leave it to the SGP. So they write and request. But if in this particular project there was that provision, then definitely maybe the HOD would speak to it and it be clarified. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. Greetings to you, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, the honorable members, the HOD, Usomlomo, Walo Maspala, Wasek Kokstad, the honorable councillor Ukukwana, officials from the department, education, as well as the SGP and SMT. No, Slalo, let's appreciate the report. I think it's the first time that I'm part of this session because I think in the last meeting we had another commitment. But let me say on behalf of the Greater Kokstad Municipality, we appreciate, because this government talks about infrastructure development and we appreciate it as Umaspal. This is a world-class facility. But I'm a bit disappointed on the report. The report seeks to ensure that the Portfolio Committee does a close-out report. But it seems as if we're starting another discussion that should have been done prior to this close-out report. The issue of the snack list should have been done prior the handover of the school. We're going to start a meeting where the principal now is complaining, this and that has not been done. The department is saying, no, we're still in the process. This is very disappointing. Because the Portfolio Committee ila to ensure ukuthi konke ekulungele isimo sesikolo sisesimeni. All these other issues, we should have ironed out these issues so that when we come to this sitting, we give a proper report to this Portfolio Committee. Ngoku izingazothi ngoku phambi kwale Portfolio Committee siyakhombana ukuthi hayi lona akakwenzanga. I think it's very disappointing, and I must say it is not well appreciated. The contractor, before we hand over isikolo, the snack list should have been done. Sihlalo angazi noba there's a confusion in terms of the social responsibility. That social responsibility angicabanga ukuthi iya ku-SGB. Isuke ithi iya community. Ingathi ngoku isikolo siyibangela kuyo le. No, mfundisi ifanele phela i-social responsibility now that the school has been constructed within the community. I-contract inikezele phela emphakathini. Ngoku ngiyaphitheka ke, I think mhlambe it's a new thing siyabuzana nosomlomo lapho ukuthi kanti this social responsibility, because the school is built within the community, what is the community going to benefit out of it? If it goes to the SGB, yini SGB, because we're looking at it saying now that there is a world-class facility that is built within the space yethu as umasipala, then what is the community going to benefit? That's what we were expecting. But above that, I must just simply say, appreciate kakhulu ku-public works. These schools are a feeder schools to our high schools. It is true that the number of children that are coming to our schools is inkulu, because remember, we're at the cross-border as a Greater Kokstad Municipality. And also, we are surrounded by neighboring towns like Mantelif, Bizana, Manfred, and all of them. They want to come to Kokstad because of the facilities that we have in terms of education. We've got facilities in terms of the private hospital and all of them. Even though they work in Mantelif, some of them, but they reside in Kokstad because of the facilities that we have. We appreciate that. I know Guti Public Works recently with the meeting, they're going to have a high school in Shamon. we appreciate kakhulu the work that is done by government in ensuring that we prioritize education, because we understand that a life of a black person matters. That's what we appreciate from this government, that a life of a black person matters, and we understand that abantwana bethu as babezawufunda pha bafunde, because nathi we are product of this school. Ngifunde la eBhizi, Nyanisile umfundisi might sifunde la eBhizi saphumela eXoloxolo. Now, fortunately, they were removed. Now, they were given a world-class facility. So I appreciate kakhulu on behalf of Masipala Secretary Kokstad Municipality. We wish that all these issues, Department of Education, will be resolved. But kona nathi siyacela ukuthi hlanu ayinto ze-cleaning bafowethu asingacomplaini ngazo. What is within our competence as schools, let's do it. Singaze caba i-department izoziyokwenza iyochebinga. The budget that we had similar problems in all the schools in terms of security and fencing. When you go to the department, you'll be told there is a budget for this fencing. So departments must do their work properly. Then so that's not complaining, anything that you complain. We not sakula mfundisi, sasiz cleaner sinikwa sicheba. Why today we all want to complain? Yonke into siyafuna ukuyenzela. Even ucleaning esikoleni sesifuna ukuthi department mayisenzele. No, it can't be like that. It can't be like that. Within the small budget that we have, make sure that you cut the grass. There was once chairperson, another school and we said, no, that is not our competence as the local municipality, that we must go and cut grass in schools. That is not our competence. So we urge the principals to be proactive and have what is called forward planning, so that you mitigate and ensure that you don't have these challenges that we're facing. So siyabonga kakhulu kwi-Ishaya Mthetho. Hlalo, we really appreciate kakhulu Secretary Kokstad Municipality ngaso sesikole, and we continue to support the oversight which is done by our government to ensure that the services go to our communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mayor. I'm told there is a car with the registration number NCW 28913. NCW 28913. Engathi ithayela khona lishawa kancane umoya. Umnikazi wayo engahamba afika check. NCW 28913. I'm not so sure nomula nomuntu ongaphandle. Ngathi ake khona. We are going to afford an opportunity to our members. I know there are questions that they want to raise also pertaining the project before HOD, no district manager, baka public works or whoever that is there. Nina nzobe nithatha ukuze nikwazi ukuthi nirespond kulama issues azobe phakanyiswa, including the ones amanye asalile beraiswe ama stakeholders. Azothatha kamalunga eshamthetho wonke, but it be noted bahlobo bethu ukuthi konke sikwenzayo mhlawumbe one, let me just cite one thing. You see, when kunohulumeni obandlululo, uhulumeni obengabanakile kakhulu abantu, ingqalasizinda nanoma infrastructure mayibuka, infrastructure abeyi-developer was of high quality, and it worries us as uhulumeni wamanje ukuthi whatever that we do as part of developing the infrastructure, you'll find ukuthi either it's poor workmanship noma ayenzekile nje kahle, okukwenza ukuthi kube nomthelelo negative in further developing other areas. Remember the governing part iyayisapotha kakhulu ukudevelopa kweindawo zasemakhaya kanjalo nasemalokishini. So kufanele ukuthi awenze lutho. You cannot end up uphampa imali uyiphampa endaweni eyodwa ngenxa yokuthi umsebenzi awenzakalanga kahle ekuqaleni. I'm just raising this because one of the things that were raised by the principal mokubuka when handover yenziwe ngo-August 31st last year, asikakafiki August, then izoba nalezo zinto sothiwa isekho right, then you ask yourself senzani abasazokurisa abahlali. But I just want to cite ukuthi ezinye zezinto esizishaya thina ngazo onyaweni noma sihambisane nalabo ababesicindezela ababethi ayikho into okwenza umuntu omnyama, ileyo ukuthi the people that you entrust with the responsibility ukuthi badevelope indawo zethu, sometimes nabo babe basilethe down. Just citing that one. Babe basilethe down I know ukuthi-ke nabo bazoyibekela ukuthi yini esikubanga ukuthi balethe down ngoba egcineni kosuku sokhokha imali and okwethu-ke thina njengabantu bok-oversight kuwo wonke ama-portfolio isente nesente elisebenza sifuna ukubona ukuthi kuyalingana nalo tiki noma nalo pheni ofakiwe la ngoba asikwazi ukuthi sikuyeke kungahambi. I will allow ama-members. I've seen ngizoqala ngale ekuqaleni. Prakash covered. I don't have anything to say. Honorable Ne.
Chairperson, thank you so much. I just want to find out, did we hear from the SGB? Is there anyone from the SGB? Are they going to be given an opportunity? Oh, okay, all right. Thank you so much. Just a few questions to the department. So these locks that we have heard about that have been sourced, they're not local. I just want to find out why we didn't choose local and what other building materials used on this particular school are not local. If you could expand on that for us. And then secondly, we told that the snags were brought to the department's attention sometime in December. And now we are almost 6 months later. Why were these snags not fixed from December up until now? Thirdly, I see we've got listed the structural engineers, the civil engineers, Gavin R. Brown and Associates, and the contractor Rambros Construction. Now, was this project given the green light by these engineers before the school was handed over to the learners and the principal? And secondly, has this Rambros Construction defaulted in any project previously in this province? And lastly, I see that we have spent almost the entire budget for this project. Is there a budget now to repair all of these snags on this project? Thank you so much, Chair.
Thanks, Chair. I'm mostly covered. I'd just like some clarity on that 15,000 fixed electricity charge. And with regards to the water supply, what are the issues and by when will that be up and running properly? Yep.
No, sibonge sihlalo sibingelele kubahlonishwa uMayor, Thisha omkhulu and all present. Chair, it's few issues for me. It goes to say that HOT for a project to be certified as finally you pay out, you hand it over, it's because there's a report confirming that. Either from your project manager or your consultant was overseeing the project. So if there are these defects identified in a space of a month, what does it say about the project handover reports we got as a department? For me, I think the first problem I think we must address, because the defects identified by principally on the water system and my challenge is why they should have been identified. I'm assuming that there is the boxes you tick for this. They say this has been finalized. These toilets are properly working and the system ezama ukubheka nokuthi-ke uma amanzi engekho, indeed there are no problems. You go, the same I think applies with the all other issues identified as schooling. The second thing for me, Chair, into ethi, there is one from economic department, sorry. Norms and standard allocation. If it's an office school, they should be catering for some of the things about Mayor I outlined in the principal. In the cleaner and all those issues. If I'm not mistaken, I'm subject to correction. So it should not be an issue which can be a grievance, unless the grievance will be that the school have not received our norms and standard in time from the Department of Education, which then impacts on our normal functionality at the school. Because if you are not getting your norms and standard in time and you are in no fee school, there are things you can't do because akwazi ukubhadala ukhokhele abantu akumele benze izinto that relate to mainly your issues of school maintenance, relate to your issues of cleaning and other related measures. But also, I think one other issue we must explore on a number of avenues. It's true that the Department of Education will not be able to afford to employ security for all of our schools. But there is a number of programs which I think sometimes principally consider exploring with other stakeholders. You've got a YEP program, a presidential program, youth employment program. You've got an EPWP program, Department of Public Works, and I think even in the municipality itself, where such areas can be utilized to exploit. Can't we look into those areas to get the security within the school facility in partnership? But beyond that, also the business community in the area. I can't speak with authority in terms of the area where the school is located and what is there within the immediate vicinity of the school. But are we bringing on board such stakeholders in playing a role for the upliftment of their own children or the children of their employees? Because I think that's where the area of social responsibility also comes in, within the private sector and their contribution within the society. One issue which I thought maybe either mayor or district was going to clarify us. This 1 year bill, which ballooned to almost 87,000 in the space of a month. Whether one has been identified as a school problem or the constructor problem. If it is a constructor problem, public works has it been alerted because for the public works share in company le eyakha isikole, so that if they must pay out to Sonkontilak, then there are these areas which must be circled with Umaspala, because Umaspala, for them to render services, they'll expect the payments for the service they render, whether it's water provision, it's electricity, if it's provided by the municipality. They will expect payment within the school. Also, it goes to the system that it's of a higher grade HOD, ngokusho principal. And ayikwazi ukubalekelela because bona isikole abayizo level no fee school. It's either because of a planning yet as a department, or I don't know that how then do you balance the two. Because if it's a no fee school, it's a given that
they will not be able to maintain the infrastructure we have put in. So masifake infrastructure kagesi feature in a model C school or a private school in a North school. Angazi ungayibiza ngaliphi igama. But sifake into enhle endaweni wrong. Because what we have put there, the school can maintain it. If the principal is correct, as you're saying, that on average, what they would have been paying previously, and based on the new system now installed, then it speaks to us as we plan and building new schools. I think such factors need to be taken into cognizance so that you balance the issues on what we do and what we aim to. I think, Chair, the last one, I think Ile Manzi show same thing, Chair. The artifact should have been identified prior the handover of the school by the project management team or a consultant. I'm assuming we call a project manager or consultant here. I'm sure he can respond on some of the issues. Was such exercise done prior to the handover of the school? If such defects were identified, what were the measures put in place and the timelines of correcting such things? Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much. I just want to thank the members for the question that they've raised, but I want to also echo the importance of involving everyone when we have challenges. I used to have a program that I used to do with Dr. Mahai from Department of Education. He shared with me very good stories. When he was a principal, there's a lot of intervention that he did as a principal with the management team of the school to say how best does his school become the best. Having worked with private sector, let me show mahlobo ukuthi you can, because uhulumeni ukwenzile afanele akwenze ongangamandla akhe. And it's true, into yokungabikho kweyimali khona konke ama-department. Mawukhumbula u-HOD ekhuluma indaba ukuthi okunye kwama-challenges beba khona ukungakhokhi kwabantu abanzela umsebenzi ngoba thina as u-public works okwethu ku-implementa, then khona abantu abakhokhayo ngaba u-Department of Education. So-ke nabo ngenxa yama-financial constraint will find ukuthi they cannot. But it becomes when the project or into esikhona leso sakho sisekhona sekuyisethu sonke somphakathi. So i-issue corporate social responsibility taps in kuwo wonke umuntu okhona endaweni. You can identify abantu abazos-adopt isikole kwabona abantu abawosomabhizinisi nabantu bani nibone ukuthi ngeke yini bakwazi ukukhokhela for these services enithi niyasafarisha because imalini incane. Ngiyacabanga futhi ungakhuluma nanaye akunika amaqhinga uDr. Mahai uka-Department of Education ukuthi wayekwenza kanjani. He even went abroad. I-issue yokunikwa ukudla ingane ezikoleni yena wayenza ingakenzi ohulumeni. Kungesinye sezizathu waze wathatha ukuthi akeze kumnyango so that akwazi implement ezinye izinto abayenza engakafiki eminyangweni esawuthisha omkhulu. So that culture noma lento yokuthi sihlale sazi ukuthi uhulumeni uzokhipha konke asiphume kuyona. Nathi kuyafana nanezinto zokufa kwezinto ezinye zazo i-maintenance when ingayinhle isakhiwo kodwa mangabe it's not well maintained noma ingane zingasiphathi kahle nanemphakathi including umphakathi okuwona kungagcina kunomthelela o-negative gcine ngabonakala. But I want to manage esayidini lami ngiyancoma kakhulu AJ ngoba uyena othena asize la. In fact wonke umuntu beyibuza siyaphela ngoba seseza isikole yonke ihamba kahle. It's even worse when you find yourself debating nge-information onayo wazi ukuthi yonke into right. Only to find ukuthi mase ufika khona ungahambi kahle khona ama-challenges na. Shuthi ngisho umuntu engangena lapho ufika athi akumanga labantu abasuke be-debate ayikho lento thina sinenkinga ka 1 2 3. Yabo, so siyayincoma nje kakhulu le element efakwe kamuva by the AG ukuthi asibuye sihambe silande, so that when we close our reports sazi ukuthi sikhuluma ngento okuyiyona yona. Le ayisixabanisi kodwa yenza ukuthi sithi tighten la kulose khona, the loose ends, and asinayo inhloso ukuthi makwenzeka izinto singayi-address. Bazosinikeza ke abafethu from i-department kanjalo nama-consultant nama-project managers basho ukuthi kulokho okurezayo how best do we address it. Manikwenza-ke lokhu esikhuluma ngakho sicela ukuthi kube into effectual ezosinika nanama dates ukuthi by this time kufanele kube kwenzakele, ngoba siyofuna futhi ukuthi noma sihambisa le report uma ngabe kwenzeka mhlawumbe AG uvele uyiphikhela, ngoba AG can do that. They can just come down kule issue befike bezobuka ukuthi lokho sasikhuluma ngakho kuyikhona yini, sebezenzela bebodwa hayi nathi bezobuka, ngoba ibalulekile. Sakunotice ukuthi laba abantu esithi bawo project manager bethu ngathi bakhona ukuba weak if sinabo, ngoba for each and every project kufanele ngabe aqinisekise ukuthi yonke into isuke right for each before I hand over. So it's very important, but also we urge i-leadership ekhona ukuthi makunama projects asuke enziwa uhulumeni, ngaba ngokwe-province ngaba ngokwe-national, siyacela ukuthi nani nisondelele eduzane, listen to abantu abalapho ukuthi kunaziphi inselelo, so that you raise and address them before we even come for renakhuzana i-oversight. It's just esinye seyinqomo esikufisayo ngoba we know asikho isikole esingekho ewadini. Whatever development esekusewadini, emawadini namakhansela, kumakhansela sasena committee abanye babo for each and every sectoral development esuke ikhona, ngabe yaka health, ngabe yaka education, ngabe yaka bani njalo njalo ngokwahlukana. So mangabe kuthiwa kunalo development abasheshe ba raise ama issues so that singafani ukuthi sinqoma into engaphelele kahle. Bese futhi siba nama program ukwasiza ukuthi ahlale esesimene esikahle, njengoba kade ngisho ngithi kuhulumeni odlule into sayihlale zikahle ngendlela eyenzeka, ngoba angazi ngenoma sasaba ukuthi kwenziwe umlungu wini, kodwa zaze ngavamile ukuthi zibe dilapidated soon more than isikhathi lesi. Kwakuhlala isikhathi eside before ukubone kufa. Angazi ubani ozoqala, is it HOD noma kuze direct to ama managers wenu?
Siyabonga sihlalo. Siyamukela nemibuzo ekhona kusukela uthisha omkhulu kuza emalungeni ahloniphekile eParliament. Angikale sihlalo ngokuthi ngithi as much iproject wa isiphelile khona iperiod esithi retention, kunemali sesiyibambe isikhathi eside mhlambe ungaba u12 months esuke ibheke wona ama defects mayeqhamuka in a short space of 12 months ucontractor still liable ukuthi ayolungisa lapho. So asikayi-finalize ngoba i-retention kona ngokulezinto okuthiwa fanele zenze we are done, but uma khona ama-defects ucontractor still liable, usenemali esayigodlile engakuthina esingesimkhokhele yona uma engawalungisile ama-defects. Kunodaba-ke lwe-fencing, ngimzwile uthisha omkhulu mayethi le ndawo inobugebengu obukhona ukuthi sifuna sifake ilokhujana ezawaya ngaphambili, kodwa yona iye ingabukeki kahle i-clear view masuzoyifaka i-razor wire khona ngaphezulu, kodwa umnyango wezemfundo uzokwazi mhlawumbe ukuthi ulithathe udabukele nalemuva babone ukuthi bangakwazi yini balenze, ngoba it wasn't part of our scope. Iscope esasinaso kwa ukuthi sifake i-clear view nje kuphela njengoba siyifaka nakwezinye izikole. Normally sesingayifaki i-razor wire phambili ngaphezulu uma sifake i-clear view. Kunodaba lukagesi sihlalo oluthi ugesi nawo unyuka kangaka konakeliphi. Isikole si-upgrade-iwe ngokwezinga laso ukuthi sesisikhulu kakhulu lesi sikole, i-consumption kagesi nayo izokhula. U3 phase lo fakwe lapho sasiwu2 phase sanyuswa mase ku3 phase. Sikhumbule ukuthi kune computer lab nama-light ahlezi akhanya ngaso sonke isikhathi ikakhulukazi ebusuku. So iyo lento yenza ukuthi ugesi abangathi uyanyuka ngathi khona into esiyenziwe wrong. Cha, usize wesikole mukhulu kakhulu kanjalo noma usifaka ama-computer room iyasebenza ngithi njoba isebenza nje nayo iyawuncela ugesi ube mningi. Kodwa sizo-investigate nomasipala ukuthi asikho yini isikweletu esashiwa ucontractor. Kodwa kana ngokwesikole nje sona nje sivele sizowudla ugesi ngoba sikhulu kakhulu isikole. Njengoba thisha omkhulu kade usho nje ukuthi abanye bacabanga ukuthi university nogesi kanjalo nawo. Leli lama-padlock cha, awekho ama-padlock that we are getting from outside the country at no stage. Kungenzeka kuba awekho la eKokstad kodwa mhlawumbe akhona la ePotchefstroom. Mhlawumbe sesingabuka ukuthi ke moving forward kokwenzeka kanjani kodwa ukuthi mhlawumbe manifuna lawa a-local azotholakala khona la eKokstad. But la afakiwe nje akhona ePotchefstroom akho ukuthi kudeke nakhona kodwa akhona futhi naseThekwini. Hayi ukuthi kwa-import, they were not imported. Akhona nje la eNingizimu Afrika la kulamadolobha futhi aseduzane. Le amanzi sihlalo thisha omkhulu sizoqela ukuthi mhlambe i-team yami ihambe futhi yokwenza i-training ngamanzi. Inkinga ekhona lapha ukuvala kwephampu. Iphampu fanele ihlezi ivuliwe ngaso sonke isikhathi. Uyabona ifana noma unebhohole ekhaya. Umke iplug yakhona wayiswisha iphampa ayisasebenzi izothi ngoba usasebenzisa amanzi kamasipala one way noma ngaphela kamasipala akhathwe uma iphampi ingaconnectiwe ngeke wathola amanzi. Ngizocela nje i-team yami uma siphuma la kuye khona bozamuni ukukhombisa ukuthi isebenza kanjani i-system. Yenziwe i-training esikhathi se-handover. Mhlambe ngenze ukuthi bakhona abangayibambanga kahle kodwa nangu project manager uzokhuphuka nje ayolungisa. Asikwazi uba nenkinga yamanzi esikolweni, asikwazi uba nayo. I-system elapha nje i-durable futhi ke i-sustainable, so iyakwazi ukusebenza. Akufanele ngabe ikwazi ukusebenza. I-training mhlawumbe kufanele sithi ukuyiqinisa kuyona nakhona sazi ukuthi ubani lo muntu ozobe enza lo msebenzi. Kunento yama-snacks. Ama-snacks sihlalo siyawenza before handover bese silinda after handover futhi makukhona amanye azoqhamuka. Ingakho kunemali lengithe siyigodlile asikwazi ukuyidedela, so idedela leyo mali mhlazane kwalunga zonke izinto ezonakele esikolweni. Imali yokugcina le final payment asikwazi ukuyenza singenaso isiqiniseko ukuthi zonke izinto sisesimeni. So ila sikhona isekhona imali yokusebenza ukulungisa lokho konakele. Le social responsibility hlalo u-0.1%, akuwona u-1%. Futhi ke ngesikhathi ucontract esicommit akasho ukuthi uyicommithela ukuthi uzokhipha imali. Kwawukuthi uzolungisa esinye istructure esikhona but esingekho ku-scope sethu within isikole. Uyayizwa thisha omkhulu injalo. Hayi ukuthi khona ucash ohambayo nje. Ukuthi makukhona isakhiwo esikhona ngaphakathi esikolweni basilungise noma mhlawumbe bathenga ama-computer ngenza isibonelo. Kodwa sizokulandelela lokho ukuthi ke ngoba ngiyakhumbula khona isakhiwo babesiripothile ukuthi wathi uzosilungisa ngemali ye-social responsibility kuyena u-0.1%, akuwona u-1%. Ngizokuverify hlala kodwa ama-colleagues ashela kwenziwe kodwa ukuthi kwenziwe up to the level le amount or ka-0.1%, I can't confirm that. Yes, bazokhuluma nje manje. Yes, umsebenzi was certified by ama-engineers which we've appointed in terms of structural soundness of a structure or a facility. That was certified by engineers. So we are 100% sure that in terms of the soundness and intact structure, we do comply. It does comply. We might have minor defects there and there, but the integrity of the structure itself, it's 100% stable. The issue of snacks, I've talked to it. Certification, it was done by engineers. I'm not sure about whether Ramros construction defaulted in other projects, but not in public works. Not in public works. I'm not sure about other government department or municipalities. I'm not sure. We don't have that information. And if it was that's the case, it should have been reported before provincial treasurer. And provincial treasurer will have advised us to say, be careful of the service provider. Sizoyibuka hlalo le ama staircases ukuthi mhlambe yini enza ukuthi afeyile kanjalo ne floor ukuthi yini enza ukuthi ifeyile kuthiwa isine dust. That will be part of our retention processes in terms of maintenance. Who contractors are still liable for those minor defects. Sakhi isikole esihle endaweni engahambisani naso. Ngicabanga ukuthi amazwi nje asho kanjalo ukuthi i-maintenance bonakala ngathi uyasindeka umnyango wezemfundo. Before sakhi isikole, there are meetings and engagements with Department of Education whereby they certify and agree in terms of the concept design and the design itself. Public works at no stage uzovela ufika uthi nje uyokwakha this type of school and education are not aware, not involved in terms of the processes of the designs. I fully agree, Honorable Chair, that I think we've made a mistake on this one. I must admit, we've made a mistake as government in terms of having such a big school, because indeed, the maintenance of this school would be too expensive. Maintenance of this school would be too expensive. So I think education working with the SGB, they should be having those bilateral meeting and planning in terms of how are they going to tackle the issues of maintenance going forward. That school side demand the maintenance. It does demand the maintenance. But with the proposal that's been made by honorable members, I think it will assist a lot to take into account or to consider EPWP as well as the program which education is running in terms of youth development or unemployment program. That would also assist the department to ensure that the school is being maintained accordingly. I think mhlambe che ngizoma lapho ngidedela ama colleagues ami okuyibona abayenza ngo bakhulume. Ngizoqala ngo project manager bese ngiyagcina ngo director we region uMiss Dube.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think Umpati HOD has covered almost everything from our side. Many just to retaliate on our points that are like in terms of our snacks, project Kala, Pela, there's a stage that we call a practical completion stage. What we saw now, principal last year August. What happens in that stage is where is called a week, is where the project is fit for its intended use. But when I'm snakes, that at that stage we can't pick them up at that stage. That is why we HOD a retention period, as the school is using the facility, some of the snakes we can pick them up. For instance, if the doors are not closing properly, because at practical completion, what we only do, we just close the door, check the lock if it's working. But with the constant use during that 1 year period of retention, they can actually pick up our issues that needs to be rectified. So that is why even contractually, there is that element where we need as a department, we monitor that part of retention up to the final completion, right? Then after final completion, we still have got what we call defects liability period, which goes up to 5 years. It means if there's any issues that can arise due to workmanship, because one year is also small in terms of picking up issues. You can have a window that can last for 2 years, but on the 3rd year, it collapses. So there is that window period where we call defects liability period. So a contractor is not off the hook completely, because we have got the details of everything. So snacks, just to put principle it is, for now, what is more critical is the communication from school. Like we said at completion with it, if ever there are any issues, the right protocol is to report to district education, and also us as public works, because we're not off the project. They need to also communicate to us, highlight those issues that needs to be rectified, then we act accordingly, because all the service providers, we are the client to them. So if ever there are any issues, we would know who to talk to. If ever there are any issues which require the Department of Education without us, we will discuss with that part, because they are our client. So the element of snacks, that one we can, it's an issue that is ongoing. It's what's more critical is the communication from the end user to the department and to us. Then we can act accordingly. Yeah. Then the issue of water. I think what's more critical, which I'm realizing, is element of like what is retraining, because normally at practical completion there are too many trainings that happen. We have got air conditioning, we have got electricals, we have got plumbing. There are so many trainings. I believe maybe to assist the school, we really need to redo it training, because now at least we'll be focusing on water only. And what we require is the relevant people from the school now, the people that would actually looking into the part of water. Because I think that is where the issue is. Because what we have done at Kolokolo, like HOD has said, we have got a connection from municipality. Tanks for each and every block. In case the municipality is not working, we have got a backup system. So it's a matter of us going back to the drainage system, and then we train with the school, so they can all know what to do and when to do it. If ever there's a fault, we can attend to it, because there could be a fault or whatever. But like I'm saying, that will fall under also the snake element. So I think that's the part that I wanted to stress more on. Then, like the issue of electrical, I think Uwashoti has also stressed that we are now using the 3-phase because of the electrical input that is now required in that school. Like our principal said, it's a mini university. There's a lot of potential in that school. Because we have also over and above the computer, we have got the media center as well. We have got all-purpose classrooms. Those all-purpose classrooms, like the word says, you can actually use it for many things which require even more electricity as compared to the normal supply in a classroom. That's the potential that school has. So I think maybe as long as we what I can say is it has a potential of look at things in terms of what we have done there. We have put the enough inflow so that it can actually explode and do what it's supposed to do. But maybe as of now, I think maybe the biggest challenge is it's a non-paying school, and hence they don't have that income to manage it. But I think that is an issue now that is within Department of Education, I think.
Ngiyabingelela uhlalo nabahlonishwa bakhona masipala. Isikole ngiyabingelela. I think they've covered HOD no project manager. I just wanted to confirm only one part layer 0.1 ukuthi we can actually confirm. I think during walkabout we will also pay a visit because sa rehabilitator an existing hall where contractor wa painter wenza ne ceiling including plumbing, and masubala that 0.1% was amounting to about 50 something thousand, I think about 52,000. So wenza even above, and we do have a documentation esingayiveza to prove what work was done in that regard. My request will only sengihlala phansi ukucela nje ukuthi siqinise kakhulu la kwi-communication, because ezinye izinto as we were listening to reports principal kakhulu, team nayo from the project management team baba shocked nabo ukuthi how lokhu ke we could have attended to it sooner if it was communicated with us. I think when we took practical completion sawasha ama lines of communication ukuthi kumele kube ukuthi kureportwa ka-education, kodwa to fast track issues sicela nathi as public works basithinte, because thina sine-direct contact with contractor, and lokho kuyokwenza ukuthi izinto ey'dinga uku-attendwa zi-attendwe even sooner. Ilokho nje, because vele period isavuma and there are things that need attention. So mangabe khona into eyenzakalayo, u-principal is allowed even to call us direct. We also engage constantly with the Department of Education so that we may attend those issues sooner. Ngiyabonga.
Yeah, just a follow-up, Chair. With regards to electricity, I hear you saying that the facility is there, should it be needed. That is why we're paying that 15,000 retainer. What I'm not understanding is, if the school is not using that 15,000, according to the principal, if the school is not using the 15,000, why should he be paying for it? You know, seeing the financial burden on the school already.
Thank you, Chair. Just my follow-up. I hear that you've mentioned that there is a retainer. It is a retainer. Retention. So I just want to find out how much, what is the amount of that retention? Thanks.
Thank you, but I think, Honorable Prakash, I think what the HOD was saying was the size of the school is what determines it to use that kind of electricity. But what we said, we're assisting them. I even said they must talk to the, I'm not so sure, education Mahai. But she's one of the specialists, more like a specialist. Is one that assists the most in the Department of Education. He has an experience of how to run the school, even if you're not managed, with the relationship that he had when he was a principal with the private partners. It could be your business, it could be your stakeholders like the municipality. I said the principal must speak to that particular thing. But also don't underutilize this EPWPs, because every department has, and normally much as they're not a permanent employment, but I think every year we have them. So when you coordinate your operation properly and ensure that everybody is involved, I believe you'll get a less burden on top of your shoulders if you are patched. But okunye bengifuna ukuthi nina abanye into abangayenzi, thina sifunda ngithi sonke safunde ezikoleni. Uthola ukuthi manje leso sikole sokaba nobani ba right bonke laba bantu, but they don't want to give back to the school that they've attended. There are a few schools that are doing very well due to the number of people that are saying, this is our school, we take charge. We are also, not necessarily you're going to take out of your pocket, but we know people that might be able to to have nakhuzana ze-adoptheni isikole ze-adoptheni nifune nabanye nafunda nawe nibuke ukuthi iyiphi indlela abangasiza ngayo. You might find ukuthi abantu abaphuma lesa sikole bakuma-strategic positions and they do want to give back, but abazi ukuthi bangenza njani. That's what we also want to encourage, because government alone cannot make izinto zenzeke uma ngabe kungekho abantu abanye ababuyiselayo. Ilokho ebengifisa ukunakuzana. But mangabe kukhona ufanele nikusho sengifuna ukuthi siye ngasekupheleni sihambe siyobuka lezi zinto lezi. Okunye bengifisa ukuchecker HOD i-issue yokuthi kule nanithe yini retention iba into engakanani. Akwenzeki nima ngabe niyibambile lo mali bese ukuthi in terms of the contractor yena akasazukwazi ukukwenza bese ngaphelele. Mhlambe in terms of us sebengengakusho mhlawumbe nizobuka ama senifika lapha nibokuthi umsizo ongakanani ukuze nikwazi ukuthi mhlawumbe mase silapha bese nikwazi ukusho ukuthi sibone ukuthi lokho isikhathi singakho bese kuphelile ngoba nathi sifuna ukuthi report yethu ibe nakho lokho. Siyakufisa lokho ukuthi yebo 100%, but ezinye zezinto within indlela esetshenzwa ngayo ukuthi uma kukhona izinto nakho njengamanje sesele nemali engaka esazi ukuthi izokwazi ukukhava, and normally izokhaveka ngoba imali weshow ukuthi ngokwemali singamnikileyo nosonkontileka imali ekangaka, and this things esi-identifyayo zingawetha mhlawumbe emalini ekangaka including into ye-labor. Yes. Sizophuma-ke sizoshaya nje then
Siyabonga Sihlalo. Mhlambe to be quick on this one. The final, we haven't done the final account, remeasurement of everything that was done by the contractor vis-a-vis what we've paid him. Definitely there will be difference, and that difference, including the amount that we are sharing here, will pull part of retention. Thanks.
Who will be leading us? I've never been to the school. I think it ebalulekile kuhlupheke masamba ngoba thina sibaningi nathi sibe singazi ukuthi ke osilidayo uma ngaphi thina nje abanye bethu bami ngale ngaphandle abanye bethu bami la ngaphakathi. I think i-clear direction ukuthi sihamba kanjani sizoyidinga nanokuthi mhlawumbe into esihamba ngayo imoto esilandelayo yilena kuhanjwa kanjena. Ngiyathanda ukuthi i-protocol observe ngoba kwesinye isikhathi linga-observeki i-protocol. Uyithole manje wena kuwena uthi uzobona lento awususele emuva awusanayo ngisho indawo yokupaka. Can we be given that opportunity ukuthi sibe phakathi nendawo? Yebo khona ama-official azoba phambili nalabasilidayo kodwa ngingagcini kwama-official ngoba wona ayayazi futhi asuke nesikhathi sonke sokuyibuka wona compared to us esisuke senze eminye imisebenzi. Imoto ehamba phambili ngeke siyibone imoto masithi imoto ehamba phambili fanele sitshele ukuthi isuzu red ewubani bani izobe ihamba mina ngoba masusemotweni ngeke sakwazi ukubona. Akhona ama-traffic. Oh, thank you so much, honorable man. Then we move sesiyakhona-ke lapha endaweni. Siyabonga.